The day a grown woman looked straight into my security camera and said, "I double dog dare you," was the day she accidentally bought herself a $450 life lesson and I got front row seats. You ever have someone smile at you like you're an idiot while standing on your own property? Yeah, that. See, I'm a land surveyor, not the sexy kind of job people make TV shows about. I measure dirt for a living. Property lines, easements, boundary disputes. Most people scroll past maps. I read them like bedtime stories. My wife jokes I could eyeball our living room and tell you the square footage within a foot. She's not wrong. About 4 years ago, we bought this house tucked up against a popular hiking trail and community park. Perfect spot trees, quiet mornings, birds instead of traffic. The only weird thing about it: the property lines. Our lot stretches further toward the park than it looks like it should. So at the end of our long driveway, about 150 feet from the road, there's this paved turnaround area. And I'll be honest, even I thought it might be public when we first toured the place. But I did what I do, pulled the survey, checked the deed, walked the pins. Every square inch of that asphalt ours. No easement, no shared access. Just private property that happens to look inviting. So I put up a simple sign: private property, no parking. Nothing aggressive, just boundaries. For 2 years it was fine. A hiker here or there would park, I'd knock politely, they'd apologize, move along, no drama. Then she showed up, late 50s, brand new white SUV. Always in athleisure, like she just stepped out of a lifestyle magazine called Condescending Confidence. She didn't park once, she parked regularly. 2-3 times a week, same spot, same casual stroll off toward the trail like she owned the place. The first time I approached her, I was friendly. "Hey there, just a heads up, this is actually private property. I'd appreciate it if you didn't park here." She smiled, not angry, not defensive, amused, like I'd just told her the moon was made of cheese. "Oh, I'm sure there's some misunderstanding," she said. "I'm the HOA president. I'm very familiar with the property arrangements around here." That's when my internal surveyor alarm started screaming. We're not even in that HOA, but I let her keep talking. She explained very patiently that this area fell under community use agreements, that sometimes community spirit overrides petty boundary disputes. Then she hit me with the line that still makes me laugh: "I'm actually doing you a favor keeping the asphalt warm. Unused pavement is wasted pavement." I just stood there blinking. Over the next month, same routine. She parks. I remind her. She smiles like I'm a confused child who wandered into an adult conversation. Finally, she escalates, tells me she's brought it to the HOA board. They've unanimously agreed the area should be treated as community parking. No paperwork yet, of course. Processing. Then she looks straight at my security camera and says, "If you think your little survey means more than my authority as HOA president, then tow me. I double dog dare you." That right there, that was the twist. Because I'm not confrontational. I don't yell. I don't puff up. I document. I started photographing every time she parked. Dates, times, angles. I printed formal notices, placed them on her windshield. Calm. Professional. Referenced survey data. Trespass statutes. She crumpled them up and tossed them in my trash can, day after day. Then she tapes a note to my door: "This is my spot now." My spot, on my deed. That night I called a towing company. The dispatcher walked me through requirements: proof of ownership, proof of notice, evidence of unauthorized parking. I had a folder thick enough to file taxes with. Next morning she pulls in right on schedule, gives me that fake little wave. An hour later, a flatbed tow truck is loading her all-wheel drive SUV, because yes, I made sure it required a flatbed. Transmission safety, you know. Neighbors gathered. I explained calmly repeated trespass, documented warnings. The truck pulled away. About an hour and 15 minutes later, I heard it. A car door slam. Then, language, creative, passionate, biblical. She stood where her SUV had been staring at empty asphalt like it had personally betrayed her. She storms up to my porch demanding to know where her car is. I explain evenly. It was towed from private property after multiple written notices. She threatens to call the police, says she has connections, says I'll regret this. 20 minutes later, 2 officers arrive. She tells them I stole her car from community parking. I invite them up, open my folder. Survey, deed, photos, notices, her handwritten "This is my spot" note. Then I show them the video. There she is smiling into the lens. "I double dog dare you." One of the officers actually chuckled. They asked her for HOA documentation proving authority over my property. She didn't have any, because it didn't exist. Officer calmly explains this is a civil matter. The vehicle was towed legally from private property. Here's the impound lot number. You'll need to pay fees. Watching that moment the exact second her social authority dissolved into actual law was like watching someone realize gravity is real. Flatbed tow $300, storage $45 a day, trespass classification fee extra. Total that day, around $450. But here's where it gets interesting. I looked deeper into her HOA claims. She was president of a subdivision next door, zero jurisdiction over me. And their code of conduct, explicit language about abuse of authority and misrepresentation. So I submitted a formal complaint with documentation, including the video of her invoking authority she didn't have. 2 weeks later, I get a call. The board reviewed it. She was removed as president, effective immediately, censured, barred from seeking board positions for 2 years. And the incident published in the neighborhood newsletter, that's when the whole story flipped from petty revenge to something bigger. Because this wasn't about parking anymore. It was about the quiet way people abuse perceived authority, the way confidence can bulldoze truth if nobody checks it. A few weeks later, I ran into one of her former neighbors at the hardware store. He told me she'd moved away. Fresh start. Reputation bruised. The new HOA board, they implemented stricter governance policies after her removal. I installed a decorative gate at the turnaround. Looks nice, locked when needed, clear boundary. Haven't had a single parking issue since. Here's what hit me later, the part that stuck. She wasn't screaming, she wasn't violent, she was polite, smiling, reasonable sounding. And that's what makes people like that dangerous. Because a lot of folks would have backed down. Not because they were wrong, but because confrontation is exhausting. Because someone speaking confidently about authority makes you second-guess yourself. If I didn't understand property law, if I hadn't documented everything, I might have doubted myself. Bullies don't always roar. Sometimes they sip green juice and smile. The lesson wasn't tow people. It was this: documentation beats intimidation. Calm beats chaos. Real authority beats pretend influence. And when someone dares you to enforce your rights, sometimes the most respectful thing you can do for yourself is exactly that. Now I'll ask you this. Was I petty? Maybe. Was I justified legally? Yes. But here's the bigger question. At what point does standing up for yourself become escalation? And where's the line between protecting your rights and seeking revenge? If you were in my shoes, would you have towed her? Drop your thoughts. I'm genuinely curious because these situations are never as simple as they look. And if you've ever dealt with someone who tried to weaponize fake authority against you, I'd love to hear that story too. Because trust me, there's nothing quite like the sound of karma arriving on a flatbed truck.